Hi everyone, I am here today to report about the definition of learning disabilities, three criteria in determining the presence of learning disabilities, and its learning and behavior characteristics. But first, let me start with the definition of it. So what is the definition of learning disabilities? Learning disabilities is a generic term that refers to a heterogeneous group of disorders manifested by a significant difficulties. This is when in terms of listening, speaking, reading, writing, reasoning, or the mathematical activities. These disorders are intrinsic to the individual and presumed to be due to nervous system dysfunction. So, learning disabilities may appear across the lifespan of a person. Problems in self-regulatory behavior, social perception, and social interaction may exist in learning disabilities, but it does not or it do not themselves constitute a learning disabilities. Although learning disabilities may occur concomitantly with other handicapping conditions, for example, the blindness, deafness, serious emotional disturbance, or with the intrinsic influence such as cultural differences, insufficient or inappropriate instruction. Learning disabilities is not the result of this condition. And then let's proceed to the criteria in determining the presence of learning disabilities. The following criteria must be present when assessing children to have learning disabilities. Number 1. The severe discrepancy between the child's potential and actual achievement. So, this means learning disabilities is present when mental ability test and standard achievement test results show discrepancy between general mental ability and achievement in school. There are pieces of evidences of discrepancy score of 2 or greater than the 2 intellectual ability and achievement in one or more of the following areas: oral expression, listening comprehension, reading comprehension, written expression, basic reading skills, mathematical calculation, and reasoning. Children may show difficulties that are minor or temporary, in which case a true learning disability is not present. This means that when learning disabilities are present, they are neither minor nor temporary. The degree of discrepancy is such that special education is needed. They manifest specific and severe learning problems despite the regular education effort. And then the number 2, exclusion or absence of mental retardation, sensory impairment, and other disabilities. The exclusion criterion means that the children has a significant problems that cannot be explained by mental retardation, sensory impairment like low visions, blindness, hearing impairment, emotional disturbance, or lack of opportunity to learn. As explained earlier, mental ability is within the average range or may even be above the average. There are no sensory impairment like low visions, blindness, deafness, or behavior problems. While all the conditions for learning to take place are present, the student experiences learning disabilities. So, the number 3, the need for special education services. Teaching the child with learning disabilities involves strategies that are unique, uncommon, and of unusual quality. The strategies supplement the organizational and instructional procedures used with majority of children in regular schools. This criterion is meant to keep children who have not had the opportunity to learn from being classified as learning disabled. Children with learning disabilities should progress normally as soon as they receive effective instruction at a curricular level that is appropriate to their current skills. They need special education services to remediate their achievement deficiencies. And then let's proceed to the learning and behavior characteristics of children with learning disabilities. Results of studies in 1999 shows that there are at least 99 separate characteristics of children with learning disabilities. More than 500,000 combinations of cognitive or socio-emotional problems associated with the conditions are possible. The large number of learning characteristics make it difficult to interpret research findings that can provide as the basis for recommending effective teaching strategies. There are also great deal of intra-individual variations within the profiles of group of these children. Uneven profiles are found, that is, a children who is 2 or 3 years above the grade level in reading may be 2 or 3 years behind in mathematics. Number 1. Reading poses the most difficulty among all the subjects in the curriculum. It may be recalled that the facets of communications are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Thus, reading problems are ushered in the deficiencies in language skills, especially the phonological skills. These skills develop the ability to understand the rules of how various sounds go with certain letters to make up words called grapheme or phoneme correspondence. The difficulty in breaking words into their component sounds result to difficulties in reading and spelling. Dyslexia refers to a disturbance in the ability to learn general and ability to learn to read in particular. Number 2. Written language poses severe problems in one or more of the following areas: handwriting, spelling, composition, and writing which is illegible and slow. Studies show that these children are not aware of the basic purpose of writing as an act of communication. They approach writing as a task. Their writing lacks fluency. They write shorter sentences and stories. They do not use writing strategies spontaneously. Their written work show lack of planning, organizing, drafting, and editing. Number 3. Spoken language poses problems on the mechanical uses of language in syntax or grammar, semantics or word meanings, and phonology, or the breakdown of words into their component sounds and blending individual sound to compose word. Development aphasia is a condition characterized by loss of speech functions, often but not always due to brain injury. Number 4. Pragmatics or social use of languages poses problems on the ability to carry on a conversation. Children with learning disabilities are found to be unable to engage in the mutual give and take in carrying on a conversation. While they are often agreeable and cooperative, many times they find it difficult to understand ideas. Conversations are marked by long silences and inability to respond to other person's statements or questions. They tend to answer their own questions before the other person has the chance to respond. They also tend to make irrelevant comments that make the other person uncomfortable. Number 5. Mathematic problems are recognized as second to deficiencies in reading, language, and spelling. Number 6. These children tend to fail and be retained in a grade level. The level of academic achievement tends to decrease progressively as the grade level increases. They find their studies to be more difficult as they go up the grades. Number 7. Behavior problems remain consistent across grade levels, both in school, in the community, and at home. The common behavior problems are inattention, impulsivity, and hyperactivity. Number 8. In general, social acceptance is low, but some can be popular.